Tennessee, the Commodores off to a great start, winning their opener. Nevada, out of the Mountain West, they also got off to an outstanding start. Over 70 points on the board in their opening win, and these two teams are coming together here at Vanderbilt Stadium. It is our SEC Network football game of the week presented by Allstate. Dave Neal alongside former Georgia quarterback, SEC champion back in the mid-2000s, DJ Shockley. And DJ, let's talk about this Vanderbilt team because, this year, maybe some expectations a little bit more than a year ago. There's some guys coming back. You got your quarterback coming back, and certainly with Notre Dame on the horizon, good start last week. But if I'm a fan of the Commodores, what do I need to see today to maybe give me some hope that maybe we got a shot next week?
You want to see more excitement. You want to see this offense be more explosive. You want to see Kyle Sherman push this ball down the field. Is Donovan one of those guys? Is Donovan Pinson one of those guys? Can they be one of those guys that be electric? And then defensively, can you create more turnovers? That's going to be the issue. Can they create more turnovers and be explosive offensively?
Derek Mason talked this week about maybe taking some more shots offensively. Felt like maybe they were a little bit closed up offensively last week. Still put up 35 points, so one of those coming off the defensive side. But this is a team he feels real confident about. Feels like the numbers in terms of depth starting to grow. And a good start. I mean, beating a good Middle Tennessee team last weekend here at Vanderbilt Stadium. Now, Nevada wins the toss. They will defer, so Vandy will get the football first. And we are underway. That will sail through the end zone out to the 25. Third member down the sidelines is Dawn Davenport. She has more on this one. Dawn?
Yeah, Dave, let's talk about this Vanderbilt run game. They're replacing Ralph Webb, the school's all-time leading career rusher, and they did it last week by committee. 3 guys got carries. The only one that didn't find the end zone was Keyshawn Vaughn. This is a guy who transferred from Illinois last year. The coaches talked about him being the star of the scout team. I talked to Coach Mason, and he said, look, you got to remember, this guy hadn't played a game since November 16th of 2016. On top of that, he's coming home. He went to high school 2 miles away. He said he's got to be more patient. He expects to see that today.
And Vaughn gets the first carry and still on his feet out over the 35 to the 38-yard line. A good start for Keyshawn Vaughn as he picks up 13 big ones.
This is a nice job of getting started on the right foot. You want to always start the game. And they talked about on first down having that early down execution. And what a great job of the offensive line who returned all 5 starters, coming up and having a big hole and big run by Mr. Vaughn on that first carry.
9 carries, 37 yards last week. Pretty balanced attack between Blasingame and Jamari Wakefield. Here's Vaughn. They'll play fake it to him and come near side. That pass is caught by Elijah Lipscomb. That's a pickup of 12. And for Kyle Shermer, boy, he has put up some great numbers. This is his final season in a Vanderbilt uniform, and he is trying to chase down some records. He has been special.
You talk about a big, athletic quarterback. You see the size, 6'4", 42 career passing touchdowns. He is the true leader of this offense, knows it inside and out, can make every throw. And they put a lot on Kyle at the line of scrimmage to get him out of bad plays into good plays. Expect him to really have a big day.
32nd career start for Kyle Shermer. Right at midfield. They'll work the right side to Vaughn. And he'll take it to the Nevada 45-yard line. A pickup of 4. This Nevada team comes in after a devastating win against Portland State, 72-19 last week. High expectations for this Jay Norvell team in this second year. And there is the coach. Boy, they run this air raid attack, and when they get the ball in offense, they will go, go, go. Even though it's similar to Middle Tennessee, a team Vandy played last week, there are some nuances that kind of separate the two offenses. Shermer under pressure, hit as he throws, and this one just out of the reach of Chris Pierce. You mentioned the offensive line, DJ. This is a group that allowed only 19 sacks last year, 38th in the country, and they all come back.
Yeah, you talk about a bunch of guys up front who can get the job done. Their leading receiver right there, Elijah Lipscomb, one of the big playmakers for him. And he's one of the guys that we talked about in the open is going to have to really stretch the field for this Commodore offense. If he can get on the backside or the top side of this defense, it's going to be a long day for Nevada.
Wakefield in the game now at running back on a 3rd down. Clean pocket. They'll dump it off underneath. This will be a first down to Donovan Tennyson He is hit out of bounds, and here come a couple of flags. A 12-yard pickup, but you can tack on 15 more. Nephi Sewell coming up with the late hit.
Donovan Tennyson, you see it right there, number 4. One of the players.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, out of bounds by the defense. Number 92, the 15-yard penalty, first down.
Caleb Minder whistled for the late hit.
It's one thing you can't do in a ball game like this. They already got a good drive going. You have an unforced error right there, giving them even extra yardage on that. But going back to Donovan Tennyson, just a guy who Coach Lutwin calls probably the fastest player on the team. So expect him to be in space a little bit more today as well.
Shermer under center. Hole off the left side for Keyshawn Vaughn. He gets it down to the 15, a gain of 4. Look at how the Wolfpack from Reno, Nevada, line up today. Of course, Malik Reed going to be a big. Those linebackers in that 3-3 stack,
yeah,
they got to be big today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting defensive front. I actually played against it when I played in college. This 3-3-5 is different than what most teams see offensively, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens and how they adjust to this style of defense that Nevada plays.
Second down and 6. Little stutter step going nowhere. The Pack step up, make a play, a loss of 2 for the Commodores, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 here inside the red zone.
Well, first chance for Nevada to really get some penetration, and that's what they have to do in this run game, is create that penetration and have some lost yardage plays and force Vanderbilt to get into obvious throwing situations where they can use some of their great pass rushers. Expect Malik Reed, a guy who had some pressure on Cal early in his drive, to try to continue that pressure here.
Boy, a 4-receiver look here for the Commodores on 3rd down and a long 7. Nevada drops back underneath throw. That is caught by Pierce. Loose football, and the Wolfpack say they have it. And they do. They get a stop inside the red zone at the 10-yard line.
Nevada comes with the bid, not break kind of defense, and you can rally to the football. You see right at the end, from the backside comes in and knocks that thing loose. Asani Rufus, number 2, comes in from the backside. He's fighting for extra yardage, and number 2 right there comes from the backside and jars it free. Big turn of events for Nevada here, not giving up any points after a really good drive for Vanderbilt.
Dom Peterson comes away with the football for Nevada. Now their offense will set up, and our first look today at a very talented Ty Ganji at quarterback. Out of that pistol formation. Nowhere to run, no gain on the opening play. Ganji is certainly got the attention of the Commodore staff with his ability to not only throw the deep ball, but also can get out and cause some damage with his feet. A senior out of Glendale, California, will throw over the middle. Pass is caught. That'll be a first down around the 24-yard line, a gain of 13. So the Wolfpack on offense have a bunch of weapons. Perhaps the biggest might be a receiver that Vandy fans could remember. McLean Mannix, originally committed here to the Commodores.
Yeah, they are so excited to have McLean a part of this system. Speaks about his size, his speed, and he's kind of in the Wes Welker mode, they say.
4 catches last week, 3 of them were touchdowns. Another quick hitter. This one dumps off outside the hash marks on the far side to Kelton Moore. That's a gain of 8. Defensively for Vanderbilt, good effort last week, allowed only a touchdown and 178 yards passing. Vecchio gets the start today, the transfer from Penn. And Charles Wright is the man we'll keep an eye on. This guy's a game changer on the edge.
True game changer. You see 9 sacks last year. He gets after it, especially in the pass game.
They'll go handoff to Moore, and he should have enough for the first down. And we'll see what kind of tempo Nevada wants to go with today.
You see Charles Wright right there at 9 sacks last year. And when you talk about some players on defense, some guys are just role players and other guys are game changers. He's one of those guys who's a game plan guy. You come into a ball game, you have to know where he is, account for him, because he will get after you in the run and the pass game. Expect to hear a lot of number 11 today.
Jackson Kincaid in the game in the backfield alongside Ty Ganji. Take a shot and a big collision. Trying to hit Elijah Cooks, but Ladarius Wiley, who certainly is careful about how he hits opposing players after being ejected for targeting last week, gets a clean hit in.
Yeah, we talked to defensive coordinator Jason Tarver. He raved about what Ladarius Wiley can bring to the secondary. And the one quote I love about him, he says, he is a dude. And a dude that gets after you, can run, he can hit, he can tackle. Ladarius Wiley is a playmaker on the back end that they expect to have a huge season this year.
20-game starter. On second down and 10, nothing there. As Tawa gets stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Great job up front there by Vanderbilt. We talk about being able to create these long yardage situations. Now you see Nevada in a third and long possible situation here.
Converted on 44% last week. Ganji gets rid of it in a hurry, but nowhere to go. Tawa stopped.
Ladarius Wiley, he is good to go too. They checked his sternum, his rib area. It looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. But DJ, you know, those are the kind of hits that you're reminded of later in this game.
Yeah, those are the ones that you want to forget sometimes.
But you feel them the next day.
But you feel them, especially when you roll over in the bed. This doesn't feel better.
Third down for the Commodores. Boy, nice play action fake. That one goes to the tight end, Jared Pinkney, and he is still moving. The big fella breaks a tackle down to the 15-yard line.
What a good call there on third and medium there, giving their tight end a chance. Go with the opposite zone and bootleg out of the neck and side, and just an easy catchable ball. And you see the big guy, Pinkney, coming out and rumbling down the field, 6'4", 255. He's played in every game the last 2 years. He's a big-time threat for him. And we talked with O.C. Ludwig. He said, hey, I want these guys to control the middle, but it looks like Pinkney's controlling the sideline as well.
53-yard pickup for Jared Pinkney, the junior out of Norcross, Georgia. Sets him up just inside the 15-yard line. Here's Wakefield off the right side. Cuts it back. He's down to the 4, maybe the 3. That's an 11-yard pickup, and that will be a first-and-goal situation now for Vanderbilt.
And we heard Don in the open talking about Ralph Webb, their premier running back they've had here for a number of years. And in this ballgame, we've already seen Keyshawn Bond. We've seen Kerry Blasingame. Now we see Jamari Wakefield coming in. This is definitely going to be a group that's done by committee, and they have a bunch of guys who can be very special and do a lot of different things with their skill set.
Wakefield stays in the game. He had a 14-yard touchdown run last week. 10 carries, 56 yards. Out of the I formation, Jair George in at fullback. He'll lead the way into a collision at the 5. That's a loss of a couple. James Fotofili leading the way, a true freshman out of Sacramento, making a play for the Pack.
Yeah, he's coming in and throwing his body around. It's a nice job of filling that gap. You talked about the fullback, Jair George, trying to come in, and he completely took his legs out and made sure that there was no gain on that particular carry. And this is a part of the field that Vanderbilt wants to be better at. They want to be able to run the football in here in the red zone. As you can see, they got a couple extra linemen and a couple tight ends in here.
2 tight ends set on second and goal from the 5. They'll run it with Wakefield. He'll get it down to the 2-yard line.
And this is a part for Nevada where they want to be better because they come into this ball game not as big as they want to be. We talked with Coach Norvell, and he said he's starting to get the bigger defensive linemen in here to stop guys in this short yardage situation. You see number 78. He's a big guy himself. Jarius McDade, who is 335 in there.
Nowhere to run again. The defensive front for Nevada stands tall, a loss of a yard. So now it'll be 4th and goal from roughly the 3-yard line. And McDade kind of leading the way there along with Photo Philly.
Yeah, you see some of the bigger guys in there. You see Don Peterson, he's number 51. He's 315. McDade, we talked about him. He's 335 in the middle. You can see they're going for it here. I expect him to put this in the air, as we can see. Some kind of way, maybe putting Kyle Sherman on the move, giving him the run-pass option. But this bunch set right at the top up here is going to be interesting to watch.
Shermer will throw. Underneath, batted in the air. It's incomplete, and Nevada does it again. 2 red zone stops for the Wolfpack.
Look at the excitement on the Nevada sideline. That's coming to play. This is a team that comes from the other side of the country, and you get two big stops here in the red zone. You see Sherman trying to get outside, trying to make a play, and it just deflects off the receiver. And what a big-time stop for Nevada.
My parents were great influences in my life. Both of them got their degrees slowly. My mom took me to her classes, and that's when I decided I wanted to be a professor. 2 of my biggest passions are horses and chemistry. It was clear that Texas A&M understood the importance of science. To be selected as the 2018 SEC Professor of the Year is awesome. It's just the epitome of recognition of your work.
And it really does mean more in the SEC.
This go-out is intended only for people who grew up in the 80s.
Renting VHS tapes is dope.
So is saving money with Geico.
And their 24/7 access to licensed agents is totally fresh. Word.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Well, Vanderbilt has 120 yards of offense here in the first quarter, but no points on the board. That's because Jeff Castile's defense has stood tall inside the red zone. And you would think with that 3-3-5 look that might be the area of concern, but what have they done to prevent Vanderbilt from points?
Well, they've done a good job of running to the football and being aggressive. Their mantra on defense is just do your job and play with discipline. In that drive, they did that.
Nice spin move from Devontae Lee. Gets out of trouble. Will pick up a couple of yards out to the 6. The true freshman out of Oklahoma City.
Watch this move right here at the goal line. Just great vision. They talk about he's a tough runner in Devontae Lee, but he also has a little elusiveness out of him right there. Nice job of really converting that and turning it into a positive play.
Some movement up front. Nevada pointing to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt pointing to Nevada.
Usually see offenses near the goal line usually go hard count to try to catch up extra couple yards.
Offsides. Defense, number 40. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Jordan Griffin. So that'll make it a 2nd down and short now and really help out Nevada.
This gives Nevada the chance to take those shot plays. They had 13 explosive plays last week. This is a chance on 2nd and short where you can take a shot and still be good and have another shot on 3rd down.
They'll run it off the left side. They'll do it with Devontae Lee and pick up the first down. Or close to it. We haven't got the signal yet. That may be just a bit shy. And it will be. So 3rd down and short. But there's what you're talking about with those explosive plays. That's what this offense is predicated on.
Yeah, and defensive coordinator Jason Tarver talked about Nevada's ability to have these explosive plays and wanted to keep everything underneath them.
On 3rd and short, Josh Smith, the senior outside backer. He missed Devontae Lee on the first play on that spin move, but came back and made a play here to force another Nevada punt.
And look at him just come straight down the line, very decisive, made a great decision of coming down the line of scrimmage. That's his second tackle for loss in this ball game already. What a big stop there after the penalty for Vanderbilt to get a stop and force this fourth.
So again, Vanderbilt closing in on the red zone. Nowhere to run for Keyshawn Vaughn. Will fall forward for a couple of yards. Lucas Weber, who had 10 tackles last week for the Pack, career high in that department, led the way.
Yeah, Lucas Weber, their local kid that walked on and has played really well for him as a senior now, 6 foot 225 linebacker. Shot the gap there, made a great play there to force his second and long for Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's offense last week had 346 yards of offense, very balanced attack between the run and the pass. Boy, Shermer just throws it up in the back of the end zone. I couldn't tell if he was actually trying to throw it out of the end zone and just didn't get enough on it as he got hit, but a very dangerous pass for Kyle Shermer.
Well, Dave, as a former quarterback, I'm going to give my man Kyle Shermer the benefit of the doubt that he was trying to throw that one away and not give. You see the pressure coming in his face and having to throw off that back foot, and he's hoping it gets out the back of the end zone, but great pressure there by the batter up front. Kyle Adams, one of the linebackers who's making his presence known. You can see now Kyle's having a really productive game. He's been very accurate with the football, but here's a big third down, getting close to the red zone.
Blasting game alongside Shermer in the backfield. A bullet over the middle is caught inside the 5-yard line. That one goes to the tight end, Sam Dobbs. It will be 1st and goal Vandy after an 18-yard pickup.
And watch Kyle standing there and deliver this football with some authority. And you see Sam Dobbs controlling that middle of the field, which Coach Mason talked about. This is where the tight ends have to live. And what a great job of winning that one-on-one route. Does a great job of sticking it at the top, and now 1st and goal. Great completion, great catch.
So the 3rd consecutive drive inside the red zone. Can Vanderbilt get some points? Here's the play action to Vaughn, a quick hitter across the middle to Lipscomb, touchdown.
This play is all predicated on him selling it and then getting that inside leverage and nice ball. You see where the ball placement is, right at his face mask, not low, not behind, but right in his face mask where he can have a strong catch. And that's finally what the Vanderbilt Commodores want, finishing in the red zone. And nice job of execution on that entire drive.
Riley Gay to attempt a point after. It is up and it is good. Boy, Vanderbilt been knocking on that end zone door the entire game. They finally kick it open. Touchdown is 10 of 13 already.
4-5 or 51 on that last drive, so he's been accurate. He's doing a good job of wheeling and dealing, getting his boys the ball in space.
Boy, a flag came in late. Looked like a couple of players, one Vanderbilt and one Wolfpack, tangled up late. See where this takes us.
It's a little hot down there now, so maybe guys get a little chippy. I know last week when we were in Arkansas, it got up to 133 degrees down on the field, so I know Don has another chance to tell us how hot it is down there probably this week.
After the play, personal foul, late hit by the kicking team, number 12. It's a 15-yard penalty, be 1st down.
Dawn, how is it down there?
Hey, guys, yeah, you were talking about the heat. I talked a lot to Nevada about it, just the humidity. They're used to the heat. Maybe not quite the humidity, but Coach told me they came in early. They practiced on Friday over at one of the local high schools, and so they're used to it. They feel okay with it, but I'm not going to lie. It is warm down here. Not quite 133 like it was last weekend, but it is warm. There's no breeze, guys, no breeze.
Well, not a lot of humidity out in Reno. That is certainly something this team has to adjust to, but we'll take one more look. And there it is. Boy, that's one of those rules now where if you hit, you've got to have hands extended. Those blindside hits. to an unaware player.
And those are just unnecessary. I mean, the ball was kicked out of the end zone. It's just unnecessary hit, unnecessary penalty.
Or a bobbled handoff. That one goes to Kincaid. Gain of a yard. Boy, this Vanderbilt defense under the direction now of that man Jason Tarver, who was a kindred spirit with Derek Mason. So it's not like there's a huge adjustment going on, but Derek Mason's turned it over to his good friend, longtime buddy Jason Tarver, and just the emotion that he brings to the room has certainly provided a spark for this Vanderbilt team. Loose football. There's another spark. Who's got it? Commodores think they have it, and they do. They will have it first and goal at the 6. Kenny Hebert getting in there again. The sophomore caused havoc last week, and he does it again today.
And they have a big thing in their building about getting after the quarterback and getting the football out. And you see, coming in there and swiping that ball away, Kenny Hebert does a great job of reaching around with that right hand, knocking the football out and getting on it. They have a thing every week, every day in practice. They give away the Golden Ball Award for a guy who has a turnover or creates a turnover. Looks like Kenny Hebert may have that one for today unless something else happened. But a great job setting this offense up with great field position with a chance to put more points on the board.
Hebert, a guy that Tarver loves to talk about, the former safety. They moved him to an outside backer, and a couple of sacks last week against Middle Tennessee State.
3 tight end set here.
They will throw it all day for Shermer. Coverage is good, and he'll throw it out of the end zone. Boy, a unique look up front for Vanderbilt. They were heavy to the right, decide to throw to the left.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. You come into a ball game and you're scripting. You have 3 tight ends in the game. It's a real heavy set, and you think there's a chance for a rundown, and you can see what he's done already today. He's 10 of 14, 136 yards, playing at a high level. But a great job there. You see the senior not forcing anything, knowing you have another down to get back to and throw the football away and live for second down.
Here's Vaughn, big hole off the right side. He'll take it into the end zone untouched from 7 yards away.
That's a great job, a great run there once he gets into the open space. But as always, this is it happens. It doesn't happen by chance. The left guard, number 74, he does a great job of really creating that hole for him. You just love these guys up front for what they do and how they're able to create those lanes. Cole Clements is a guy who, one of the young guys who expect him to play better, and he definitely did it on that particular play.
Riley Gay with the point after. Well, this whole thing was started by some great defensive work from Kenny Hebert, causing a fumble, the sophomore from New Orleans. This tackle in the backfield, so Tawa running hard. The true freshman at 5'10", 190, picks up 4. He broke through a couple of Vanderbilt arm tackles. Of course, his brother Vi was a great running back for Nevada back in that 2010 run when Colin Kaepernick was their quarterback, and boy, they were lighting up scoreboards all over the country.
Yeah, they were putting up tons of big numbers and really at the top of every record and completion percentage, throwing it, they were all over the board.
Ganji's throw to the wide side is bobbled. Not much there. Just a little spot at the 39. Give him 4. That's McLean Mannix's first catch of the game. Hey, Marty Smith, Ryan McGee, a.k.a. Marty McGee, the TV show, will be on the SEC Network Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern this week, right after Kentucky, Missouri women's soccer. You can never get enough of the M&M boys. I'm glad they're out of the blimp. They were hanging out over Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yeah, maybe you can get on Marty and McGee. I mean, we can put pressure on somebody to get my man Dave on for real. But those guys do an excellent job, and their new show is pretty awesome to watch.
Presented by our friends at Gatorade. 5-man rush picked up well by the pack, and that one is off the fingertips. Had a chance for Mannix. Mannix last week, 4 receptions, 3 for touchdowns. This guy is a speedster, 10'5", 100-meter guy out of Texas.
Speed to burn, but this is one play that they're going to want back, and Ty's going to look at this film and And see, they missed one here. They brought the corner blitz off the side by Ali Muhammad, number 31, the cornerback, and so much room to complete that football. But that's a big play missed by Nevada.
The Pack 0 for 2 on third downs. Vanderbilt bringing some pressure. Ganji is popped right as he lets it go. No whistle on the play. They say loose football. Braden DeVault Smith will get it down to the 5-yard line. The initial look appeared to be a pass, but no whistle. Vandy scoops it up, and Braden DeVault Smith, the redshirt freshman from here in Nashville, takes off with it down to the 5. Here's another look.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Vanderbilt. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, you can see his arm clearly comes forward and he releases the football. Yeah, he was trying to pull it back, but you can see his arm completely goes forward, and it's definitely come back, and it'll be 4th down. Nevada will have to punt the football. You can see that's why he's laughing, because he's a little bit saying, well, I'm glad that didn't turn out the way it looked. Head coach Jay Norvell there.
John Bible in the replay booth, taking another look at this.
Well, Dave, you were 1-0 last week. What do you say?
Incomplete pass.
Looks like Dave's going to go 2-0.
After reviewing the play, it was an incomplete pass. It will be 4th down and 6 at the 39-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 10:44.
Well,
10:44 on the game clock, please.
2 weeks and you're undefeated, so you're 2-0.
Well, it's hard to count that one. You know,
I mean, you got to count. It's a call.
That's like tapping in a 6-inch putt. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It depends on who you're playing with. Sometimes they make you putt that, and sometimes you got to see that go in.
So Nevada will punt it away. Quentin Conway will send it down to Trey Ellis, who stands inside the 25. Another side-winding kick caught in the air this time by Ellis. And he'll get it to the 35, a 36-yard punt. Let's go back to the studio for an update with DirecTV. More for your college football thing. Big good win for Joe Moorhead and the Bulldogs on the road. They can hold on there, and certainly I think Mississippi State's one of those teams that kind of under the radar, and it's always going to be tough in the West, right?
Yeah, they got tons of guys back. Fitzgerald gets his first start back today.
Wakefield spins out to the 37-yard line. Gabe Sewell making the play.
You talk about the grind of the SEC. You talk about week in and week out having to bring your best game, and look at Vanderbilt and how they're structured, how they're made, especially in the backfield. You're going to need all three of these guys once you get to the latter of this season, and you're going to need all these guys to produce and be productive for you because of the strain of the SEC.
Kyle Shermer getting a block. There's a flag. Boy, you could see Chris Pierce eyeing the block, and you know that I wonder if that's one of those blocks, those crackback blocks, are trying to get away from a little bit.
Yeah, you see more guys get injured than not on those particular plays, and they're trying to kind of take them out of football because they are brutal hits.
Lipscomb was out there on the edge. Looked like he might have grabbed a jersey.
And I think that's where the second flag comes in after the hold. The hit comes in a little bit late too.
Well, we have seen some big collisions today.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Holding number 14. Personal foul targeting number 19. The previous play is under further review.
You can see the hole come in the picture, and there's the late hit coming in right there. Pretty brutal hit. Does he get the helmet in there, or does he get more of the shoulder?
Well, you know, it's defensive player. You can check that. That was definitely what that was. Lucas Weber, and contact above the shoulders. That's what we're going to have to take a close look at. You know, we talk about the helmet a lot, but it's really any contact above the shoulders in the head and neck area. And so,
after reviewing the play, there is no targeting on the play. However, the holding foul will be enforced from the spot of the foul, and it will be first down.
Well, that's a good thing about how the game has evolved, where when you first started out the targeting or the helmet penalty, it was an automatic penalty and didn't review it. Now you get a chance to review it and go back and look at it, and you can overturn it, and probably a good call there. And good thing for Vanderbilt that Pierce stays in the game, because he's a guy that they're looking to have big things out of this season. He's a promising player for him. He's a big kid, 6'4", 215. Nice size receiver that they expect to have a huge contribution to this offense.
so second down from the 31-yard line. Near side. And another flag comes in. Pinckney out there trying to block for Crawford, who will get it close to midfield. Let's wait on the flag. It'll be a gain of 17, but where that flag is thrown, that one appears to be heading back.
Yeah, I was watching that play as it happened, and Pinckney kind of pulled his guy down as the runner got close to him.
Holding offense, number 80, the 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Some self-inflicted wounds here for Vanderbilt on this drive.
You can see Pinckney right in there, holding him right there, and just you have to let him go. Nice job of Asani Rufus there trying to fight to the football, which forces the holding call. But Pinckney has to do his best job of keeping those hands inside. And once you get it outside and that guy, you see the jersey tear away a little bit, you're going to get that holding call 9 times out of 10.
Kari Blasingame in the backfield on a second down and long. Near side, that one is incomplete. So that'll be third down and 21. They got to get it all the way out to the 44-yard line.
Big third down here, third and long. There are not many plays in the playbook, Dave, I tell you, for third and 21 that you can throw down the field and have a chance to be productive with. But Vanderbilt's going to try their best to try to get a lot of it. And you see the third down percentage today. They've done a good job of converting third downs, but this is one of the more tougher third downs of the day.
Three-man rush. Lipscomb underneath. Loose football and a big hit. That'll be picked up by Nevada. Justin Brent came up with the football for the Wolfpack, and they'll have outstanding field position.
Fumble recovered by Nevada. It'll be first down.
Sometimes you got to cut your losses as a player and just get down. And when you know you're not able to get the football or get more, and here's the replay of the fumble here. He takes a late hit here, and that ball's definitely moving. That's a good hit, and that's a good recovery for Nevada, and set up in prime position here late in this second quarter.
I think the crowd's Hoping they get a replay of this.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Nevada. The previous play is under further review.
You know, it looked late, like there was a defensive player. I didn't get the number. It came in late. It kind of led with his head. There was a pretty big collision there.
Yeah, because he was being held up towards the end of that while he was trying to fight for extra yardage, and he comes in there and takes his hit. But on first look, I thought the football was moving, but it may be a check at that usher look. But here's the hit that comes in, and he definitely does lead with that helmet. And the new rule, they can go back and look at this. And that's number 90, Malik Reed, coming in there late. That would be a huge, huge loss if it's what they're looking at is the targeting penalty. But he comes in there late and he lays a lick to him.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Nevada.
So Nevada wins that one, and they will have it inside the 30-yard line at the 28. Handoff goes to Moore, and he has run out of bounds near the 25-yard line. They'll spot at the 24. Here's a golden opportunity for Nevada to get back in this one in a hurry with 8:52 to go before halftime.
Yeah, this could be, a swap of points here, because we saw the last series where Nevada turned the football over in the red zone of Vanderbilt, and now they got a chance to create of their own.
Here's Mannix. He'll be close to the first down line. They'll spot it around the 18-yard line.
And I think that's what they have to do. They got to get the football out of the hands of Ty Ganji here. And we've seen him try to throw the football down the field, and he's had more pressure than he wanted to in his face. But a critical third and short here that they must convert. You got to remember, you got a 240-pound back in Kelton Moore in the backfield.
Off the right side on third and short, that will be a first down for the Wolfpack.
Big conversion there. Now you got a chance to get into your offensive set. Whatever you want to do, you can throw it, you can run it, but you have enough field where you can throw the football into the end zone or try to drop it off to one of your playmakers to make plays here near the red zone.
Little razzle-dazzle. That one to Caleb Fossum, who is hit and dropped at the 24. Well played by Ladarius Wiley. A loss of 7.
And they actually had what they wanted here. You can see in the end zone, they're actually going to try to throw it into the end zone. And look back here. Look at your receiver. Wide open on the back end. Just unable to get it to him. But they had what they wanted. If he could throw it a little bit sooner, they had 6 points.
Second down and 18. They got to get it inside the 5, close to the 4 for a first down. Nevada wants a timeout. 7:10 to go. We'll see what Nevada has in store when we come back to Nashville.
This is the face of a man watching college football on an 82-inch Samsung QLED TV. He's not watching his team. He doesn't even have a team. He's more of a golf guy. And yet, here we are. Captivating color, gripping 4K. The massive 82-inch Samsung QLED TV. You can't look away.
Back to Vanderbilt Stadium. Here's the reason why this play didn't work. He does not do a good job, Trayvon Armstrong, of holding the point of attack here, and he gets upfield, and it's just a bad job here of blocking up front. As you can see, Washington comes upfield too far, and he allows it to push up high, and you see Darius Wiley come up and make the play. But the inside release there of Charles Wright forces the bad decision.
On 2nd and 18. Dump it off near side. That goes to Moore. Well, but after that last play, Jay Norvell was not a happy man.
Well, he knows if he gets that block, and you see him getting after Trayvon Armstrong right there, if he holds that block, then he has a lot more. He has a better chance of actually throwing that football or getting rid of it.
The other coach is like, hey, why don't you just slide back here and get away from coach for a second? 3rd down and 17. Quick throw. That one off to Cooks. He gets it down to around the 15-yard line. A gain of 6. Josh Smith, the first one there for Vanderbilt. And here comes the Nevada kicking unit.
Well, I know Nevada wanted to get 7 on the board here, but any point in this situation after a turnover is a win, but it's going to be a win for Vanderbilt as well.
Well, here is Ramiz Ahmed, who last year in an open call for kickers in the 3rd week of the season went out, never kicked in high school, was a soccer player, won the job because they needed somebody to kick off. Well, he stayed with the team, kicked off the very next week, and this year he won the place kicking duties. This from 32 yards. And it is good. So a year and a half ago, this time a year ago, he was just a student at Nevada. Who knew he'd be a part of the football team? 14-3 Commodores out in front.
Best tailgate, brisket.
No, real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings. Dude, subs.
Hot dogs.
Chili dog.
No, Dodger dog.
It's gotta be crawfish.
Now you're talking. Burgers.
7-layer dip. Ribs. No contest.
Hummus.
What?
You need a hot grill.
And an ice-cold Coke.
Of course.
Football and Coke. Come on.
It's got to be Coke.
Game day.
Race day.
Calls for Coke.
You know it.
Grab yourself a Coke.
It's Tailgate 101.
1 cup of lemonade.
Time to pack up, kids.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Get every live game every Sunday at no extra charge when you switch to DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Thank you, Peter. Get to you in just a bit. 5:41 to go before halftime. This Vanderbilt team has put up some yards now today. They have amassed almost 200 yards of total offense on 30 plays. And we'll get the ball back here in just a moment in a 14-3 ball game. Here is Wakefield from about the 5. Tamari to the 35 and pushed out of bounds there by the kicker, Ramiz Ahmed. But, boy, Vandy's defense has seen some good Wolfpack plays to keep him out of the end zone despite all the yards.
Yeah, they've done a great job of really trying to scare. You see that turnover there. They've held them to a really good job. This is we talk about a Nevada offense that put up 72 points last week. So their ability to stop them today has been really good.
We'll see if Jeff Castile's 3-3 stack defense can hold up here from the 35-yard line. Sherman rolling and firing, and Pass is caught at midfield. That one goes to Cam Johnson, the true freshman. They're excited about him out of Brentwood, Tennessee. Brentwood Academy, a gain of 14.
And what a great job here of setting his shoulders and fired that football and put it on the outside shoulder. Great coverage on the outside. Cam Johnson does a good job. And Daniel Brown, one of their top defensive backs who they love, was actually in good coverage, but a better throw and strong catch on the outside by Cam Johnson.
See the numbers, 13 of 18, 157. Quick throw over here to Lipscomb. Stays on his feet and will step out of bounds, though. Just past the line to gain around the 40-yard line of Nevada. A gain of 11 on the play. Lucas Weber runs him out of bounds.
Give his fellow receiver here, Chris Pierce, number 19, getting out there on the edge, blocking for him, and then Lipscomb running strong, running through tackles. This is just another instance of getting their guys in space. And this Nevada defense has 4 missed tackles on the day. Vanderbilt's running strong.
First down and 10. Shermer, another clean pocket. That one is caught by Chris Pierce, a pickup of 16. And Shermer's starting to get hot now. The football family is Uncle Fritz Shermer, 24 years as an NFL defensive coach. Of course, his dad, Pat, now running the New York Giants. Kyle, of course, 4-year starter here at Vanderbilt, chasing down some career records. Interesting to talk to him about his dad now running the New York Football Giants. I said, "You guys catch up much?" He said, "We're busy. We'll catch up on a Friday." He'll say, "Are you ready?" And I'll go, "Yeah." And I'll ask him, "Are you ready?" And then he goes, "That's pretty much it."
And that's how you can stand up the conversation. But, Kyle comes from, like we just saw, a long lineage of football. This guy loves football. He's all about it. He's a student of the game. And you just talk about his progression over the years. He's grown into one of the top quarterbacks, not just in this division, in this league, but all around the country.
Coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Week 2 of the college football season rolls on with East Tennessee State, Tennessee. Then it's Kentucky, Florida at 7:30. It's our SEC Saturday night matchup. The alternate channel will have Southern Illinois and Ole Miss. Alabama State taking on 9th-ranked Auburn from Jordan-Hare. You can find the SEC alternate channel in your area. Go to secnetwork.com/channel. And all 4 games also streaming live on the app.
Can Kentucky finally get a win versus Florida? That should be an interesting game. Dan Mullen in the second one.
First down and 10. Little play action. Shermer gets it to Vaughn, who is hit inside the 20 down around the 19. That'll be a gain of 3. A lot of running for Shermer and Vaughn to pick up 3 yards.
What I like about that play is he went through different progressions on it as he rolled out. His first progression was out in the flat. It wasn't there to initially begin with. He looks for a deep crosser coming across. That's not there. As he finally gets towards the sideline, now his flat route starts to come open, and this is like nice job of just dumping it off to get something positive out of it.
Second down and 6. They'll say that Vaughn was down even though he picked up the football. Just a gain of 2 on the play. So third down coming up. Daniel Brown making a play for the Pack.
We've seen Vanderbilt down here in the red zone a few times today and not been able to convert. This is a critical down for them. I'm sure they want to go into halftime with 6 instead of 3. So this is a big third down play here. You expect the ball to be in the hands of your 4-year starter, Kyle Sherman, to make a great decision with it.
We'll work it out of the shotgun. Wakefield in the backfield. Here comes some pressure. Shermer sidesteps it. That one is incomplete. He was looking for Donovan Tennyson. It bounces off his hands. And now it's 4th down.
It's a great job of moving in the pocket, and I think right at the last second, Donovan Tennyson felt or heard the footsteps coming of number 25, Daniel Brown, closing in on him. So this is probably considered a win for Nevada to hold Vanderbilt to a possible 3 points here.
Riley Gay from 35 yards out. Boy, just hits a laser right through the uprights. So his first field goal of 2018 is in the books for the junior out of Naperville, Illinois, and it's a 17-3 Commodore lead. Time now for our Mayhem Moment, brought to you by Allstate.
Pressure off the corner, it's deflected and intercepted. This is going to be a touchdown for Jacob Phillips.
Again, Samuel, did he make that catch? You're kidding me.
Shermer looking for Lipscomb, and he holds on. Touchdown, Vandy.
An exciting opening weekend. Some of the best plays from week one around the SEC as you look at the headlines heading into the weekend. And certainly when you look at these situations with the SEC going out week one, big wins on the road. Tennessee, the only one that suffered a loss, but I think expected against a good West Virginia team. And now the question becomes, how good is this league? I think after week one, you got to put at the top of the pyramid, right?
Yeah, you play some quality opponents in week one, and you go out and you're pretty successful. Talk about the only loss by Tennessee. They fought early in that ball game, but this is a league that's for the past 5-10 years has been really productive and winning tons of games.
That kickoff through the end zone. Vanderbilt's defense played well today under the direction of Jason Tarver. First year here in Nashville. A little different path, though. How about a master's in biochemistry and molecular biology? A distinguished teaching award at UCLA, of course, comes from a teaching family. His father's a research chemist at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory. Not necessarily the resume you see of a lot of coaches, but you know what? He felt his passion was in football, wanted to attack this game with passion, and he and Derek Mason are a perfect 1-2 combo here for the Commodores.
Yeah, guys, master's degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. Easy for me to even say, right? Doesn't exactly a resume that you expect to be walking around the sidelines here. But he walked away from a career in med school and a career in orthopedics because of his passion for football. He says it's the ultimate human research project for him. His players love that passion. They love that energy. You see him respond down here on the sideline. I talked to Ladarius Wiley. He said everything that Tarver brings to the meetings. He's funny. He makes it interesting. He keeps them engaged. They love this guy, and they play for him.
Well, he to step up and play on this drive after a couple of substantial gains. That one's 9 from the quarterback, Ty Ganji, after a nice catch and run by McLean Maddox, who finally got free. First time today he's had some room to run. So second down and short now. That's off the left side with Kincaid, and that'll be enough for the first down. And the clock will stop for a moment at 2:23 to go before halftime.
And I think what we're seeing on this drive is where Nevada really wants to be. They really want to go fast. They want to throw the football down the field. And they're starting to find these open zones in this Vanderbilt defense. And now we're close to halftime. They're trying to make something happen.
4-man rush. They come near side with it. Here is Kincaid. He's to the 20 and a big collision. Out of bounds around the 17, a pickup of 9. Muhammad came in there to lay the hit on Kincaid. Ganji trying to run with it, nothing doing, and that'll keep the clock moving. They just needed a couple of yards. He only got 1.
Well, here's the part of the field where things start to shrink once you get into the red zone. And we saw 2 passes that were really thrown down the field really well. Now this field shrinks. This Vanderbilt defense is starting to show up. They're starting to play a little bit tighter on the outside. Saw Joseph Williams on the last one make a great play in open space. Big third down play here for Nevada.
Devontae Lee checks in the game, and Nevada having trouble getting the personnel on the field that they wanted. Will have to use their final timeout. So with that timeout, with 1:15 to go, a chance to get an update. Let's get you to Peter Burns. Hey, the only name I need to know is Peter Burns. Thank you, buddy.
PB with the good hair.
Hey, coming up at halftime, you can watch a live performance of Vanderbilt's Spirit of Gold on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. They're ready to go on a hot, muggy afternoon here in the Music City. 3rd down and a couple for the Wolfpack. Oh, there's room to run. Tawa inside the 15. They'll spot him actually at the 9-yard line. They needed 2. He picks up 9. Josh Smith finally drags him down.
Well, just a great call. They got outflanked and out leveraged on that particular play. And we saw Tawa hit the edge and make a good run. Now inside the 10-yard line, they need 6 points here to feel better about themselves going into halftime.
1st and goal. Over the middle and off the fingertips of Mannix, a little bit behind him. That'll stop the clock at 57 seconds.
Well, I like the throw to the end zone. I like the aggressive call there to try to get their playmaker the ball, Mannix, who we've talked about a lot. You see the numbers on Ganji. He's actually thrown the ball really well, has been accurate with the football. Now the time where he needs to really step up and make a play for his team and see if they can convert this big time play here in the red zone.
Batted out of the air. Josh Smith with his big paw knocks it right down to the Vanderbilt turf.
And that's what they're taught sometimes. You can't get to the quarterback, jump, try to deflect the football, but always play with a lot of effort, play with tons of speed. And you saw the pressure come right up the middle and do a great job. Josh has 9 tackles on the day, 1 pass breakup, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 pressure. So it's an understatement to say that he's playing really well.
10th play of the drive. It started back at the 25-yard line. 53 seconds to go, first half. Over the middle, passes, caught, touchdown, Wolfpack. Brendan O'Leary-Orange, who was injured last week, glad to have him back. A 9-yard touchdown grab.
And you love the throw there by Ganji. You're throwing it to the back of the end zone. And number 3, Caleb Folsom, the safety, who's playing the full cross look. He kind of gets caught looking in the backfield and just gets beat coming across the backside and never really locates that receiver that came right behind him. It's a great job of conversion there for Nevada.
Flag is down on the near side. Point after is up and good. Brendan O'Leary-Orange, a big wide receiver.
The try is good. Offsides. Number 8 of the defense. The penalty is declined.
So O'Leary-Orange, they call him OJ, runs a 4.440. Been bothered by a bad back, but certainly a valuable weapon inside the red zone.
And here's what happened. You see the safety right here. He does a terrible job of looking inside. His eyes are going to go inside. He's going to step inside just for a half a second, and it's going to allow this route to come right here on the backside of him. And he steps there, and then now you can see here, the steps inside, and now he comes around the backside, does a great job of clearing that safety. Just a bad job of eyes on the backside right there. And they complete it right behind him. Just a great job of trying to create that space.
49 seconds to go in a 17-10 game. I had a feeling Nevada was going to hang around today. Started to click a little bit. Only 3 wins last year, but really down the stretch. Second half of the season, this offense under Matt Mummy, the offensive coordinator, and Jay Norvell started to produce some yards and points. Could the defense catch up to them? They played pretty well today, especially inside the red zone.
And Dave, what I thought was kind of in the norm of what Nevada wanted to do was go fast there. And I think they caught Vanderbilt in some awkward situations and coverages. And there was a lot of space in those zones for Nevada to throw the football there, and expect that may be something they come back to in the second half for sure.
Well, let's see what Coach Mason wants to do here. Backed up inside the 25 with 43 seconds. You do have 3 timeouts remaining. So maybe take a couple of shots, see if you can get it out to midfield.
And the most critical down here is this first one. If you get a chunk yardage play on this first down, you can probably see these Commodores go after this one.
Shermer. Boy, that one almost picked off. It didn't even look like Donovan Tennyson saw it coming or didn't want any piece of it.
Yeah, that was a definite miscommunication there. E.J. Muhammad had a chance at that one on the backside. As we look at it again, and I think he was expecting him to come more inside and break across that corner's face. And just miscommunication there by him and Tennyson.
The second down at 10. Passing game. Nowhere to go, and that will probably do it. A loss of 2. See if Vanderbilt wants to run another play. They don't have to. And it looks like they'll probably just get it to the locker room.
Yeah, after that first throw, I think Coach Mason says, "Clock, please hurry up and run. No anything else bad to happen before we go into halftime. Take this lead in and go."
Vanderbilt with 240 yards of offense here in the first half. Last week, Vanderbilt's offense had 346 the entire game. But it's a one-score game. 17-10 is our tally here in Nashville. The Commodores out in front by a touchdown. Well, let's get it down to Dawn, who has Coach Mason alongside.
Well, Coach Mason offensively struggled to finish that half in the red zone. From an execution standpoint, what has to change there?
It's sloppy all the way around. It's not just offense, defense. I mean, you got to learn how to play from out front. And at the end of the day, man, it wasn't good enough. So we're getting ready to go in here and talk about it and get it fixed.
Defensively, though, we saw kind of that ball hawking force some turnovers that you always talk about. What was the key in that?
Well, I mean, these guys just got to keep playing. I mean, you can't do it for 15 minutes. Okay, we got to be a 60-minute ball club, and right now that's not the case. So let's go in here and get it fixed.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you,
Dave.
Derek Mason not real pleased with the first half, but he'll take a 7-point lead. And with that, it's time to get into the studio. Halftime activity. Guys, take it away. You're watching SEC Network Football presented by Allstate as we continue on from Vanderbilt Stadium here in the Music City. Commodores up a touchdown. They held Nevada to 10 points, which is substantial as when you consider that last week they scored the third most points in Division I football with 72. So a good job there. But in a big picture, after 30 minutes of football, what's your takeaway?
I think Vanderbilt's ability to be able to throw the football down the field a little bit more than they did last week. Stretch the field, get the ball into some of their playmakers' hands. And defensively, they've gotten after Gaines just a little bit. They've allowed him not to have those deep shots down the field. They're used to making those, and they haven't been able to do that. So offense and defense have kind of been on track.
Well, certainly we are ready for some second half football as Vanderbilt will kick it away to Nevada. And Nevada, a team that scored on their last 2 drives, will start the second half with the ball in their possession. Out to the 24-yard line. So we take a look at our highlights. Playing with Style, brought to you by Belk. And they talked about trying to get tight end in the game, and they did with Pinckney.
Yeah, Pinckney was a big part of the first half. They wanted to be able to get all the tight ends involved, but he does a good job of stretching it there. And you see the nice throw on the outside. That's one of the throws you want to see out of Kyle Shermer in this ball game, and they're continuing to do that and press the football. And you see the finish there by Lipscomb. Defense has been stout. Defense has done a great job of really getting after them in the run game and stretching them vertically, but this defense has been very stingy.
That wasn't very nice. Josh Smith with his 10th tackle of the afternoon. One of those, actually 2 of those behind the line. That is now 5 tackles behind the line for this Commodore defense.
He just literally got into the hip pocket of the tight end and came right down the line of scrimmage. And the guard was unable to come back and peel back and block him. So him doing his job, doing the small things, the details of what his position upholds. And you see number 25, Josh Smith, just making his presence known.
Vandy bringing some pressure. Mannix, he's out to the 26-yard line. He'll pick up 7. Mannix, one of those guys that you just have to know where he is at all times.
Yeah, and when they brought the pressure off the quarterback's right side, or Gandy's right side, he knew exactly where to go with the football. Find number 1 and get it to your hot route, and he did that. Brings up a 3rd down here, and coming out of halftime, scoring those after those 2 possessions. This is a big drive for Vandy's defense as well as Nevada's offense.
Mannix goes in motion. Pass is thrown. It hit a Commodore defender right in the face. Donovan Sheffield was right there, and he just didn't see it in time.
Well, it's a good thing that Donovan Sheffield has that visor on, because it could have literally went right through his face mask. He's looking back at the receiver. Oh, man, what a great job of Dimitri Moore as well, though, getting some pressure up front, forcing that errant throw by Gandy.
The reaction of the sideline was pretty solid. So, another punt by the Pack, and Trey Ellis will let this one bounce. And it takes a favorable Nevada bounce inside the 20, close to the 15-yard line. 57-yard punt. So Nevada trails by a touchdown, and Jay Norvell and company have to be pretty pleased with where they stand. Right, Dawn?
Yeah, Jay Norvell's message to his team at halftime was actually settle down, settle in. He was pleased defensively with what they did. He was mainly talking about his offense. He said, now that we've seen this Vanderbilt defense, we know what they do. We know the speed they play with. We know exactly how to attack this Vandy defense this half. So offensively, settled down. Pretty happy with what his defense has done.
30 years coaching football. Been in the college and pro game. His first head coaching job. However, now at a second season with the Wolfpack, a 4-yard pickup off the left side by Blassingame.
Vandy started in this second half similar to how they started the ball game. Wanted to get the run game going, wanted to be good on first down. That's one of the top things that Coach Sarver talked about was, offensive coordinator Lowe talked about was they want to be very good on first down and execute those and give themselves a better chance in early down situations.
Second down. Shermer trying to lay it in there to Pinckney, and he does at the 40-yard line. Boy, found a little soft spot and picks up 19.
Yeah, inside of these zone coverages that Nevada's sitting back in, and he's got plenty of time to find his tight end running down there on that corner route. Does a great job of clearing out on the outside, and I'm sure Kyle Sherman wants to throw it out a little bit more, but I know they'll take the completion, and another huge throw down the field for this Vandy offense.
Well, they threw it 17 times in 56 plays last week. At halftime, he threw it 23 times in 38 plays. Out of the I formation. There goes Blassingame off the left side. He'll pick up 7.5, maybe 8. Muhammad and Baber bring him down.
And Dave, you bring up the attempts, and it's a good thing to bring up, because that's one thing Coach Mason talked about was we want to open it up a little bit more in this ball game. They felt last game they wanted to establish the run. They wanted to see what their offensive line would do versus Middle Tennessee. But today, they've done a great job of opening this offense up and giving Kyle Sherman a lot of opportunity to throw the football down the field, and he's done a great job doing that.
Dobbs goes in motion, the tight end. He'll settle in, trying to get a block. Boy, nice little hesitation move from Blassingame. Waits for a seam and gets it down to the 44-yard line of Nevada after a 9-yard gain.
Give number 77, their right tackle, Devin Cochran, a great addition to this offensive line of what he's doing and really creating that hole for Blassingame. And one thing you notice about Blassingame when he runs the football is he is downhill, his shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage, and he is a north and south runner. And whoever's at the end of that tackle, they're probably going to get punished.
Shermer, a little bootleg. Pass is caught right at the first down line by Lipscomb as he's popped by Damian Baber.
Watch the anticipation right here. He lets this ball grow before he gets even into that window. because he sees the safety coming down, does a great job of creating. And you can see Lipscomb come across. He does a good job of coming flat. He doesn't go upfield too much. He flattens it out and does a great job of coming back to his quarterback. And that kind of concedes the hit just a little bit by him staying flat on that line as he comes across on that crossing route.
Lipscomb, 4 catches last week for 60 yards, picking up right where he left off. Now with 7 catches for 54 yards. Oh, a big hole off the right side. Blasingame driving down to the 22. That'll be a first down. Give him 11 yards.
And one thing to notice on that last play was you talk about Kyle Shermer having full control of his offense. He actually audible this play to the right side and picks up positive yards because the safety comes down to the opposite side of where the previous play was called to. And he does a great job of changing that play, and the offensive line gets up to that second level. And you see pick up positive yardage there on that play.
This is a big boy drive by Vanderbilt right now. They're going with multiple tight end sets, using 3 tight ends here on first down. There's Vaughn. Breaks a tackle, and he gets another first down around the 10-yard line. That's a dozen yards. Lawson Hall finally brings him down, but another missed tackle by the Pack. That's 6 of those today.
Left tackle, 58, Justin Skull, 74, Cole Clemens. Look at him just pave that left side down. And what a great job of leading up in there. This was just a great run and doing a great job on that left side offensive line there to create that space. And you see number 58, Skulls, play tons of football for him, played multiple spots. This is a kid who actually played blocking tight end as a true freshman. Done a good job at that left tackle spot.
Shermer underneath to his tight end Pinckney falls forward. That'll keep the clock moving around the 5-yard line. E.J. Muhammad cuts under him for the tackle.
You talked about this being a big boy drive. This is a commanding drive by Vanderbilt coming out of the second half, taking the football, going right down the field, and trying to put more points on the board here. But this has been a mix of run and pass to get this done.
They had a couple of drives to start the game very similar to this.
Yep.
Got in this position, one, they turned it over in downs, and then they also had a turnover. Here's Vaughn. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and not much happening there. Give him a yard. Now it's 3rd down. They can get a first down right around the 1-yard line. Vaughn today, 10 carries, 47 yards.
Yeah, big 3rd down here, Dave. I expect him to possibly throw this football in the end zone and give their quarterback a chance to throw it down the field. You see a heavy set on the field, but we've seen it do a couple times with 3 tight ends actually throw this football.
This drive started back at the 16-yard line. They'll fake it to Vaughn, throw it to Dobbs, who has wrestled to the turf before he could get the line to gain. So now it's 4th down and about a yard.
And with all that action, what a great job by Gabriel Sewell, number 7, the middle linebacker, not losing his tight end. It missed all the play action and the bootleg coming out of there. He does a great job staying with this guy and forcing this 4th down and forcing this field goal attempt for Vanderbilt.
4th and 1. You can get first down. What do you think of the decision?
I think with coming out of the second half, you get points. I think they'd be excited about that, but here's a chance to put more on the board. But the way your defense is playing, I like points.
False start. Kicking team, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And Dave, you wonder, early in the ball game, they went for it, kind of the same area here. And you see the false start right there by number 61, Bruno Reagan. But maybe that kind of deterred Derek Mason from going for it there.
So now it's a 25-yard field goal. Riley Gay made from 35 earlier. And this one is hammered through the uprights. Vanderbilt puts 3 more on the board, push their lead to 10. 7:14 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Told her, tough break. Yeah, I advise if you're going to a wedding and it's not your wedding, it's nice to have. This kick will sail into the end zone. Nice job on kickoffs today by Vanderbilt. 20-10 here. Time for an update. Let's get you to Peter.
Oh, nice one, PB.
You're a good man, Peter Burns. Good man. You know,
everybody knows you got a good golf game, huh? Everybody knows.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm playing with. Depends on who's right. Hey, we were talking about Mississippi State. You know, that's a team under the radar. Now, they're not going to win the West, I don't think, right?
Yeah,
but they certainly are going to have an impact on who does.
I think they're gonna compete with everybody. They're going to give everybody a tough outing. Whoever they play, 19 to 22 starters back. I mean, they're gonna pressure you for sure.
Jordan Griffin making the tackle of Caleb Fossum. Second down.
You know, I want to see Nevada go to kind of what they did before halftime. It was really fast. It was up tempo.
Agree with you.
And it really worked for them. This is part of the ball game. You got to see it happen.
Here comes some corner heat. Lofted up in the air, and the pass is bobbled out of bounds. Boy, Elijah Cooks had it and just couldn't get it to his chest.
If you're Elijah Cook, that's the play you got to make. You got one-on-one on the backside. You got a big receiver over here, 6'4", 215. Great throw by Gang on the outside, covered by Donovan Sheffield. Back shoulder throw. Those are the plays you have to make in this ball game. Now, you got a third and manageable, but a chance to move the chains there.
Ganji throws, and that one is picked off. Picked off at the 47-yard line. Another turnover by this Vanderbilt defense, Jawan Williams.
Now, this is a next-level play by Jawan Williams because this wasn't even his particular guy or area, and he comes back and creeps into it. He has actually that flat area. He sees the corner out and comes off of it. It makes a very athletic play. Give him credit for just being a football player on this play and making a spectacular play.
He's a guy the coaches say gets mad when teams don't throw it his way. Well, they threw at him that time, and this is why, Jawan, they won't throw your way. Vanderbilt with good field position at the Nevada 46 when we come back.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money correctly can be tough, especially for college students. That's why we sometimes bring in some extra help.
Young lady, you are way too smart to hit that order button. $750 on a dress that'll be out of style by next week? And what, you might wear it 2-3 times tops?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I probably am right.
Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Backyard camping, this is some good team bonding. We don't need a football stadium to bond. Where's Lisa?
Definitely not watching football.
She's watching football.
Hey guys.
Lisa, how are you watching football?
PlayStation View.
I can watch live football on my devices, even my phone, without a PlayStation console.
We should camp more often. Nature is amazing.
When your TV service gets better, camping gets better.
PlayStation.
Vanderbilt with excellent field position after the Jawan Williams interception. And as Vanderbilt leads at 20-10, here's an opportunity to maybe take some of the life out of the Wolfpack. Another missed tackle. Here goes Keyshawn Vaughn. He's to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. 46 yards.
Big time run there by Keyshawn Vaughn. Usually after a turnover, you take a shot. This is just as good as the taking a shot. Runs through a couple tackles. Gabe Sewell misses the tackle and is off the races for Keyshawn Vaughn, and big time run. And that stings if you're Nevada.
some of the joy taken out of that touchdown with an injured Vanderbilt player back at midfield. Devin Cochran, the tackle, slow to get.
For another first down.
Elijah Lipscomb has had some kind of day. 8 catches today. A career high for him. Make it 9 as he grabs another one. Is spun to the turf at the 50 here on the near side, and that'll be a gain of about 9. He'll be a yard shy of the first down, but we're seeing this Vanderbilt offense in a number of different ways. I mean, they have not settled in on anything today, showing you some variety.
And that's what you want, especially getting into SEC play. You got
reviewing on this play. They just said the play is under further review, so we are awaiting. They're going to go back and look at this tackle.
Yeah, it comes in there with that. That's Gabriel Sewell, the middle linebacker, looking at the tackle coming in right at the end, and he kind of leads with that helmet. And we've had a couple instances today where we've seen it and it hasn't really been called. But in this instance, he leads with that helmet coming in for the tackle on Lipscomb.
Well, that's similar. That is similar to what we saw earlier, and there was no targeting on that play, but it's very similar to a play we had earlier, a defender coming in a little bit late, not a late hit, but coming in late to the play, leading with a helmet. So we'll await what the ruling is, and here it comes. That is Gabriel Sewell. Boy, that's a big loss. Guy who's made 25 career starts, the junior out of St. George, Utah. 137 total tackles in his first couple of years with the Wolfpack, and his day is done.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate because he's the guy that makes the calls for him defensively. So you got to think who's going to be the next guy up to make those calls defensively.
And he'll miss the first half of next week's game against Oregon State.
Good call, Dave. That's just doesn't bring just ramifications for this game. It brings ramifications for the next game as well.
So that'll move the football to the 35-yard line of Nevada. It'll be set up on the near hash mark. And Vanderbilt will go with a 2 tight end look. Single setback. Here's Jamari Wakefield, the 6'1", 220 sophomore. He'll get the handoff. Stutter steps in the backfield, nowhere to run, and he is swarmed by 4 white jerseys. That'll be a loss of a yard. Jarius McDade led the way. The 310-pound nose tackle was the first one there.
Yeah, the penetration was a lot there. That was a good job of changing that line of scrimmage and forcing Wakefield to bounce around a little bit. And Jarius McDade is a big physical guy on the inside. We talked about it earlier, 6'1", 335 senior. Had 3 tackles last week. He's making his presence known here today.
Wakefield will stay in the game at running back. Shermer goes under center. They'll split 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Handoff right side. Here's Wakefield. Huge hole to the 30, to the 20. Bounces off a couple of defenders and falls down to the 10-yard line. A 26-yard pickup. Daniel Brown finally brings him down. But another huge hole off the right side for that Vanderbilt offensive line.
Kind of similar spot where last time we talked about the left side of the line making some hay. Give the guys on the right side, Bruno Reagan, Devin Cochran, a lot of praise for what they did on that particular run. Opened up the big hole for Wakefield and another big-time explosive run for Vanderbilt.
So 1st and goal. They'll spot it just inside the 10-yard line. Wakefield stays in the game. They'll play fake it to him off the left side, come back and throw to the right side, and good coverage from the Wolfpack in the end zone. A couple of Vandy receivers there, but nothing they could do with it. It falls incomplete. So that'll bring up 2nd and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Vandy has had their issues inside the red zone today. They have had 4 possessions inside the red zone and have only come away with 6 points. They've had a stop on 4th down, an interception, and 2 field goals. That's the kind of stuff you can't do next week when you're on the road at Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's going to be a loud, hostile environment, and you got to be on the right page. And at home, you're going to be, now that let the crowd know, you got to communicate well. And another 3 tight end set for Vandy.
Yep, they'll run it right side. Wakefield, and read well by the Wolfpack. They hit him right at the line of scrimmage. Nephi Sewell there. to make the play along with Malik Reed. So here we go again, a dicey situation. That time they lose a yard, so it's outside the 10-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal.
And you talk about Nephi Sewell, his brother Gabriel Sewell, who we just saw left the ball game. He has to take, this defense into his own hands. And we talked about the struggles here in the red zone. Big 3rd down here, and looking for their veteran quarterback to make a play for them.
Apologize for these technical difficulties. Glad we're back on the air with you as Vanderbilt's knocking on the door. 3rd down and goal just outside the 10. Shermer, a lot of time going to the wide side. Touchdown Vanderbilt. Elijah Lipscomb from 11 yards out. His 2nd touchdown grab of the day.
Looks like this is going to be a combination to talk about all season long. Sherman to Lipscomb, he does a great job of setting his route up, and what a great job of reading this. This Kyle Sherman giving him a high and outside ball versus one-on-one coverage and a corner route versus man coverage, and you expect Lipscomb to win, and he does that.
Point after is up and good. Elijah Lipscomb, their main gun on the outside. The junior out of New Orleans with a couple of TD receptions. This one in the pin for that football every single play.
And it's all about the ball for this Jason Tarver defense, and they stress it every single day, every practice, walking around in their meeting rooms. It's all about the football.
Three-man rush, so time for Ganji. He'll come near side and lost it. They're going to call that a fumble as he tried to bring it back down. He's begging for an incomplete pass, but that'll go as a fumble, a loss of 5 on the play. So that'll bring up a long 3rd down and 10.
And you see Juwan Williams, the one coming in there with the pressure, and right at the end, he kind of wants to bring it back, but he has to do a better job of holding on to that football. Now he's forcing the team into a 3rd and long situation. And see if Vandy comes with any pressure and wants to sit back.
Double slot near side. 3rd down and 10. Over the middle. That pass is caught. Fossum still on his feet. Went backwards a couple of yards, but still has the 1st down. 14-yard pickup.
This is a great job of throwing where they replaced from. He does a good job. They blitz the linebacker right through the middle, and you can see this Nevada offense on the day. Not as successful as they were last week.
Fossum again bouncing off a couple defenders, and he'll have enough for a 1st down. Darius Wiley finally brings him down, but that's a gain of 11. But here's that tempo you were talking about a little while ago, DJ.
And this is what you want to be. You look at the Vanderbilt defensive front. 3-4 of those guys got their hands on their hips. They're getting a little tired. This is the up-tempo that kind of keeps a defense off balance.
Quick hitter as Fossum sits down that little soft area, and he'll pick up 9 more.
And they're picking up these big yardage chunks here, 9, 10, 11-yard gains every time. And it's nothing but quick, simple throws. This defense is not ready at the snap of the football.
Boy, a late handoff to Devontae Lee. He still gets 2 yards on the play. Devontae, good looking back. He's just 5'8", but he packs 230 pounds on that frame. A true freshman.
Yeah, that's one guy it's hard to wrap up, and you see the mass substitution for Vanderbilt trying to get those defensive linemen out of there. You can tell they were sucking wind a little bit.
How was that guy playing high school football last year? Who tackled him?
Just not right.
Lofts it up near side, looking for Mannix. It's incomplete. Out of bounds. It'll be 2nd down. There is Mannix. Boy, he was oh so close to wearing a Vanderbilt jersey 2 years ago, but at the last moment decided to transfer to Nevada. They weren't. Derek Mason wanted him to be a running back here, but he felt like his best spot would be as a slot receiver, Wes Welker type. And that's why he made the switch. And Derek Mason said, no hard feelings here. We think the kid's a special talent, and just wasn't the right fit.
Yeah, and sometimes you fit better in different systems. And he's a guy that wants to be in this spread attack, and you see he's got 6 catches today and for 86 yards, done a really good job. They tried different ways of getting him the football in space, and you saw the one-on-one coverage throw in the end zone right there. But watch him in the slot here. It's third down. It's a chance for him to have a chance at it, and here he is right here in the slot. Watch him in the slot, see if he finds a one-on-one matchup.
Mannix goes in motion. On third down, they'll get it to about the 12. That's a 5-yard pickup, but they're going to be 5 yards shy. Romeo Dubs with the reception, but it's almost that point where it's almost automatic 4-down territory.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell by the route combination that they were probably going to make this a 4-down territory anyway. They want to pick up enough yards to give them a manageable 4th down here, and they got it.
They'll go inside handoff, a long way to go for Tawa, and he won't get there. The second time Vanderbilt has stopped Nevada on downs. They'll get the football back with 10:43 to play in this one, a 24-point game.
Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
4th and goal. This is the final play.
Hold on. How were we sitting last week?
Oh, my God.
Come on. No, I was in the middle.
Oh, wait.
I was in the middle.
Yeah, go over there. Okay.
Come on.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Whoa, what's going on? Everyone's playing Fortnite on the new Samsung Galaxy Note 9. It's the fastest Note ever, and is now 50% off release. Everyone's gonna want one from Sprint.
Wait, 50% off?
My analysis confirms this Galaxy Note 9 is perfect for Fortnite.
And you've been practicing on a network built for unlimited.
You know, Evelyn, this is actually a really...
I won.
There it is. How?
Never underestimate the boogie bomb.
Switch to Sprint and get 50% off a lease on the new Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and get the Galaxy skin free.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Let's take a look at today's Capital One pivotal performance, and a couple of touchdowns here in the second half have provided the separation. And Keyshawn Vaughn, they wanted him to get on track today, the transfer from Illinois, as he does there on a touchdown run. And then Lipscomb in the back of the end zone gave Vanderbilt their current point total at 34. So you see Shermer's passing chart. What do you make of this?
Oh, he's done a great job of throwing it all over the field. You can see he's not scared to distribute the football. Vanderbilt's last three second half drives, 20 plays, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That's being productive.
Here's Crawford off the left side. We'll get a few on that one. Time for an update. Let's go to Peter. I would say he's balling today.
He's having a good day. He's gonna have a great time tonight. When you have those good games, man, you always have a really fun night day.
Be a long trip back to Starkville, but certainly an enjoyable one after a victory if you can hold on. Kyle Shermer's had some kind of day today. He has put together a 23 of 31 performance, 258, couple of touchdowns. He has been on point.
And when we talk to some of the coaches, especially Coach Mason, about what he wanted Kyle Shermer to be better in his 4th year, and it was throwing the football down the field. And I think they stressed that today. He's done a great job of completing some long passes to his receivers, to his tight ends, and he's becoming the complete quarterback that Vanderbilt wants here in his 4th year.
Shermer, a big quarterback as well at 6'4", 225. Impressive figure. Impressive to talk to as well. Boy, he has got it all together. That one right through the hands of his tight end, Jared Pinkney. But it was fun getting to talk with him yesterday. And you could tell, he was taking the towing the line, the company line about, we were balanced. But when you started asking questions about, do you want to like open it up a little bit, go over the top, and you could kind of see a little smirk on his face, like, that'd be nice.
I'm not sure if it was because Coach Mason was standing there and about to come in, if he wanted to kind of keep it a little more reserved. But all quarterbacks, trust me, they want to open it up and throw it down the field. So I guarantee you, if I asked him without Coach Mason there, he said, yeah, let's throw it out.
Vanderbilt will take a timeout. We'll take it with him on 4th down. We've got 9:15 to go in this one.
From the creators of Dr. Pepper comes the story of a town where every day is Saturday and everyone is a fan. And this fall comes the most dramatic season I can feel it of their lives.
What is it? New neighbor, Sheriff.
We're bad fans.
Everyone wants that trophy.
Are you kidding me?
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville, kicking off this fall.
I put a spell on you. Yeah, because you're mine.
With Chase ATMs, Serena can now grab cash on the go, all with the tap of her phone. No card, no problem. Life lived Serena's way. Chase, make more of what's yours.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands?
There's Charles Wright, the linebacker here at Vanderbilt, who started a program called Impact with Backpacks to help disadvantaged kids in the Nashville area with school supplies and backpacks. It is a great story, folks. He is a young man that was in foster homes, eventually adopted by Ryan and Tyber Wright back in August of 2003. He had been moving around the country and felt like he knew what it meant to receive something as small as a backpack to get you motivated for everyday life. And he said, you know what, when he was 10 years old, he was going to give back. Well, he has done that in spades. This guy is an unbelievable story. Awesome to talk with him. And a great, great investment in the Nashville community by Charles Wright. A couple of big blocks. Fossum gets run out of bounds, but a 53-yard punt.